This book we call Kritagnata, Gratitude, has over 50 write-ups. Almost all the write-ups that were submitted were carefully screened, edited, and for 2-3 of us, totally consumed us for the last 3-4 months. So if you have written a write-up, it is in the book. It might not be the version that you submitted, but it is. And I thank all the contributors who poured their heart and soul into these write-ups. Unfortunately though, today there is time to read only about 5 more articles, write-ups. And so I'm going to invite the next 5 speakers one at a time. They're very quick. They won't be as long as Umanti and my dedication. So let me first call the first person who has contributed to this book is Aarti Kapoor from our San Ramon Center. And here is Aarti with her write-up, Catch This Apple.
Hari Om Swamiji, Hari Om Umanti, and everybody else. Thank you all for coming here. And everybody has come to classes, Swamiji's classes, and everybody knows that his messages are very profound. But if you think that his bhikshas and normal conversations are not, you are mistaken. So this is from one of the bhikshas that we had at our place. Once at our bhiksha, Swamiji had answered questions from all the children. He was about to give out prasad when 7-year-old Ruhi's hand went up. "How are you so smart?" Ruhi asked. He smiled and said, "You think I'm smart?" "Yes, you know so much." "That's because my teacher was so great," came the reply. Ruhi, of course, was not satisfied with this answer. "But you had to do something, right?" He smiled and reached out for an apple from the prasad basket nearby, as if dismissing the question, and tossed it at her. It dropped on the floor. "Ruhi, I was giving you the apple. Why didn't you catch it?" "I didn't know you were going to throw it at me," Ruhi exclaimed. "Now pay attention, Ruhi. I'm going to throw this apple and you have to catch it," he said. This time she caught it. You caught it this time because you were ready. In the same way, if you prepare your mind, pay attention, and tune to your teacher, you will get the knowledge and retain it. He shifted our focus away from his accomplishments and brought it toward us. Asked by anyone, answered for all. That's the greatness of Swamiji. Thank you.
Thank you, Aarti. Next up, we have Sunita and Karthik from our Fremont Palvihar Center.
I'm speaking on behalf of Karthik and myself. So at the first bhiksha at our house, Swamiji said, "God's given you everything, good health, good spouse, good child, material success. Don't waste this life." We will never forget those words of inspiration. Every time we find ourselves slipping in our sadhana, those words never fail to put us back on track. We're devotees of Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharshi. Our understanding of his teachings, which are pure Advaita Vedanta, has deepened immensely from attending Swamiji's lectures. Lastly, we were both drawn to the beauty and depth of our scriptures from attending Swamiji's clear, logical discourses. So we owe our ability to pursue our sadhana together as a couple fully to Swamiji. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Hari Om.
Thank you, Sunita. By the way, everything you see on the screen behind me is captured from the book. Like I said, unfortunately we don't have enough time to read everything, but everything you see on the screen is from the book. And unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to set up the video equipment to capture the entire screen, if you will. So you might see some parts of the book clipped off, but that's not intended. It's just the limitation that we have, the IT limitations that we have this evening. Okay, next up is Tina Petragani. Well, I was trying to think what center does she belong to? Because I see her everywhere. She's Sarvastra. So I'd like to invite her up next so she can come and read her write-up. Hari Om. Tina.
Hari Om, Swamiji, Uma Auntie, and the beautiful Chinmaya family. On October 26, 1953, Swami Tapovanam Maharaj offered blessings to Swami Chinmayananda Ji on the occasion of his Delhi Mandukya Upanishad Yajna. 58 years later, on the same day, thanks to the gracious invitation of Acharya Uma Auntie, Prabhuji and Chinmaya Mission welcomed me on Diwali, October 26, 2011. That auspicious day is infinitely etched upon my heart when Bhagavan blessed me with a guru and the divine parampara. Mandukya was the first class of Prabhuji's I attended where he imparted the Vedic declaration, I am Brahman. Prabhuji recently shared in response to a devotee's inquiry, why leave when so many love him? Do you know why they love me? Because I love God. That truth deeply blesses every interaction with Prabhuji, our compassionate and loving guide. Prabhuji teaches the truth. For this, I am eternally grateful and daily inspired to live the vision of Vedanta. Mandukya invites us to leap to God and croak the truth. Hari Om.
Thank you, Tina. Next, I would like to invite Kamlesh Ruparal from our San Jose Center.
Pujya and dearest Swamiji, what I'm going to be speaking now is a write-up on one of the pages of the book. What I'm going to express here is going to be probably very similar to most of the families here. Writing to divinity is hard and simple at the same time. You already know our thoughts, and yet it gives us solace in expressing them. As we sit down to reminisce and reflect on how this journey commenced and the pathways you led us over the past 10 years, we realize that even an attempt at describing in words the magnitude and depth of your influence on our lives would be doing gross injustice to the countless ways in which you have enlightened us. Thank you for being our guru and spiritual spinal cord, kindling our hidden natures of devotion and curiosity, helping us articulate the correct goal, teaching us how to regularly bathe our minds, to exercise vivek in choosing the sattvic paths, and finally for blessing our family. Our humble prayer, always keep us in your angelic thoughts and accept our heartfelt Shastang Pranam and Hari Om. Affectionately, the Ruparels.
Thank you, Kamlesh. Our last but not the least speaker of the evening for the book presentation is our Subbu Venkat Krishnan from our San Jose Center.
Puja Swamiji, Vanti Hari Om. It may be too soon to speak of our relationship with Swamiji in the past tense. But, we've had this sense of a long, timeless connection with every great teacher. Something that reaches back to affirm its place in the institution of the Guru-Sishya Parampara. So it is no coincidence, not a surprise, that our very first interaction with Swamiji was on the topic of Pramana Vichara. I'll tell you what it is. It was in the year 2000 when we had the honor of having Swamiji as part of our study group. Yes, he was here in the Bay Area and he was in our study group. By the way, this is just to make sure that if you are doing study groups, please continue. One day you may find another Swamiji. Swamiji's ability, the care and the clarity with which he explains how to employ a valid means of knowledge, pramana, or in the first place, what constitutes a valid means of knowledge is beyond all comparison. His ability to instruct without being didactic, to insist on facts without pedantry, to encourage without flattery, to critique without denigration, to be generous without any expectation, and above all, to be sincerely and enthusiastically kind. These are not simply teaching tools, these are not pedagogical, but fundamentally human qualities, and in our Swamiji, they are present in abundance. It's unfortunate that we didn't measure up to what he expected of students. It was very clear when yesterday he, in the way of examining us, he did what is called a comprehensive, the comprehensive oral exams that we have. I'll tell you, we expressed our ignorance comprehensively. At best, we can call ourselves Brahma Bandhu. It's a technical term in Chandogya Upanishad which says the best you can be is a relation of a Brahmana. Forgive us, Swamiji, we didn't measure up to a good student. We are extremely fortunate to have Swamiji's winds of learning on our backs, as we continue to discover the many more ways in which our gratitude will grow. This is from Malika and myself. We remain forever in gratitude to our dear Swamiji. Hari Om.
Thank you, Subbu. A good job memorizing your write-up. I tried. I tried to memorize as much as I could. I just ran out of time. Okay. This is the last page in the book. As you can see, Kritagnata is written in almost every Indian language. If you're not able to read from back there, the saying under Swamiji says, "The gratitude in my heart can never be fully expressed. in spite of my best effort. O teacher, be gracious and bless me with devotion of supreme love. This ends our presentation of the book. At this point in time, I would like to invite two very special individuals to the stage, Sri Krishna Bhamreji and Jignesh Joshi. Jignesh and Bhamreji are the silent force behind all our CMSJ activity, both external and internal. You know, it takes an immense amount of dedication and time to put together events like this one. I know, trust me. My family would tell you. And these two gentlemen do it selflessly day in and day out. And hence, I could not think of two better individuals to represent all of us collectively and present this dedication, this book of gratitude to our dear Swamiji. Swamiji, if I could please request you to come on the stage for this presentation. Swamiji is in a hurry, so we'll end soon. Okay, I want to get off the stage now with just this final word. Like I said, there are about 50 articles in this. If you submitted an article, it is published. And this is a great book to have. If you would like to own one, there is information available on how to order this book at the bookstore outside. With this, I want to hand back the mic to our EMC of the evening, Jignesh Joshi. Hari Om, and thank you. Over to you.
I know, Swamiji, we didn't make this part of the program public and we kept it as a surprise. We should not have done that and we ask for forgiveness. Next, I would like to invite some other speakers which represent the diverse CMSJ community. I'm going to introduce them briefly and collectively together, and they will come one by one on the stage and speak for about 2 to 3 minutes. Meena Kapadia is a long-time devotee, a teacher, a volunteer, and a favorite chef or of children at the youth camp. She has had the privilege of serving many acharyas in Chinmaya Mission over several years, and she will speak on behalf of all Sandeepany volunteers and teachers. Lakshmi Prakash is also a very long time devotee, teacher and a volunteer who also has the privilege of serving many different acharyas. She will speak on behalf of Fremont volunteers and teachers. Ravi Parthasarthi, he is part of the volunteer team of San Jose and Fremont, and he is the silent worker, always ready, always available. And lastly, I will ask, there are 3 chicks who are going to speak together. Akhil, or also Akhilesh, the star of the video that you saw, Siddharth and Anu. They will come together and speak for a couple minutes. So I invite them, please.
Pranam Swamiji, Umaji, Hari Om everybody. I'm going to go down the memory lane and remember the first day when I met our beloved Swamiji. We had a board meeting and Swamiji had just arrived to our ashram as Brahmachariji with Swami, our Guruji. Board meeting was scheduled at 10 a.m. and I was fighting the traffic on a working day to get from Concord to San Jose. And of course, I reached San Jose sharp 10 o'clock. I quickly dashed into the ashram and our then Brahmachari Prabhuji was standing there and I said, "Oh, you must be our Brahmachari Prabhuji." He goes, "And you must be Meenaji." I go, "How do you know?" He goes, "Because Guruji is waiting in the room for the meeting." All-knowing smile. Remember that. I was always few minutes early for the meeting after that. Never late. And of course, after the meeting, I get to know our new Brahmachariji, and over the years, got a lot of guidance from him. Under our Swamiji's presence, I must speak a little bit about San Ramon since I'm representing them. Our Bal Vihar grew from 80 students to 500 students. And our little meager yagnas that we used to hold with 40 people grew to, last one was attended by 450 people. And as the students grew, just as our Pujya Gurudev had promised, did the teachers. We grew from 15 teachers to over 60 teachers now. As South Bay was looking at 4 to 10% growth every year in student and everything, San Ramon was seeing a whopping 30% growth. I have nothing to do with it, except go there and make sure teachers are there available to teach all these students. And I look at the assembly and I see an ocean of people. And it just awes me. I look at a Gurudev and I always see him smiling. I don't know why. And not to forget, our Sandeepany is growing from 5,000 square foot to a 22,000 square foot. A little bit I'm going to say as a treasurer. When I was approached and I was told that we're buying this building and they were talking millions, I go, "You buying what?" He says, "Oh, but we need to grow." I says, "But what about the funds?" And I looked at Gurudev and you know what? He says, "Move aside and just watch." And so I did move aside and just watched. And I cannot believe every one of you stepped forward and now we have this gorgeous building available for us. And I think the inspiration comes from our both acharyas, Swamiji and Uma Aunty. There's no other way it can happen. On a personal level, Puja Gurudev sent Swamiji to me at various occasions when I really needed Gurudev's presence. Whether it was in Columbus, Ohio, at my son's place, or it was at my home when I had made Puja Gurudev's favorite dish to offer to him. Swamiji showed up and partook that, and I will never forget that. I realized at that time that while Puja Gurudev cannot be with us in his physical form, he was right here with us and often appeared through Swamiji's presence. I know that Swamiji's teachings and guidance will remain here with us while Swamiji moves to the quote other Sandeepany, just like Puja Gurudev has remained here with us in our hearts. So, Swamiji, I have very pleasant memories of working with your guidance and hopefully growing in my sadhana with that. Whether organizing a yagna in Sandramon or administering Valvihar issues or cooking for our children at camp. I remember very fondly the time when Swamiji came to the kitchen at Krishnalai to help me cut potatoes. Just when I was so overwhelmed without help, that soft, tender heart has always thought about when and where the help is needed. As Swamiji moves from one Sandeepany to the other, I'm very jealous of the brahmacharis that will enjoy the eternal knowledge. But share we must. We have to share our Swamiji. I know Puja Gurudev wants us to learn detachment at this occasion. I also am sure that Puja Gurudev will continue watching over Swamiji and all of us. Swamiji, I will miss your presence every Saturday. Very much. Hari.
Respected Swamiji, Umanti, and dear friends, Hari Om. First of all, humble pranams at the lotus feet of Puja Gurudev and Puja Guruji. Pranams to Swamiji's parents. It's because of them we have an opportunity to benefit from Swamiji's presence with us for the past 10 years. Swamiji, we are ever indebted to you for everything you have done for us. You have been an excellent teacher of Vedanta, and you have lived everything that you have taught us. Your purity, your clarity, and your humility are some of the things that have stood out for me. I have been a student of Vedanta when I first met you. However, you have filled in many missing gaps for me and have taught me how to think logically and understand the subtle concepts of Vedanta. You have taught me how to assimilate and grasp the details through Shravanam and Mananam, and also taught me the techniques of Nididhyasana. Swamiji, you have touched many hearts and inspired many people in the Bay Area. You are an embodiment of Bhakti, Jnana, and Vairagya. I have noticed how you have taken the time to meet the new devotees of the mission and to respond to all the questions with so much patience and compassion. Your love for the young ones is amazing. The children used to love the special story time you had with them. These stories are so captivating for the young minds, but the adult also got a lot out of them when we reflected on the true meanings you covered through those stories. Sincere prayers to the Lord and Pujya Gurudev to bless you with good health and long life. May you continue to be successful in all your endeavors. I look forward to seeing you in Mumbai. Seek your blessings so we can abide in the teachings you have imparted to us. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Pranams to our dear Swamiji, Acharya Umanti, and my fellow sadhakas. Swamiji for me has been an expression of compassion and applied wisdom. Like many of us in this gathering today, I have been fortunate to attend many satsangs, yajnas, and classes presided by Swamiji. He seamlessly connects current and related texts such as Gita chapter 6, chapter 18, and Mandukya chapter 3. And when we meet after a long time, he graciously gives us a recap. Though I might not be a fully qualified Uttama Adhikari, he has made the Adhyatma Shastra accessible and simple for me. His examples involving our Bay Area life, such as startups, boom and bust, or NFL games, to explain all this anitya of all this world has made a lasting impact on me. I have become a better student, husband, and father over the last 8 years. The last part has been approved by Home Ministry. His vatsalyam and care for us in Laukika Vishya, that is worldly matters, is unforgettable. When one faces personal emergency or some loss, Swamiji is there to guide us and offer his ideas and wisdom. His support has been a source of great strength for us as a family. His attention to detail and encouragement in various activities such as Mission Bookstore, Yajna organization have made me a better member of the Chinmaya family. And all of us together have become a very strong team. His guidance at various stages has helped me stay on the path of the eternal while developing Vairagya. He is a great role model and Vedantic Acharya. We have been very fortunate and blessed to have him with us here. May Pujya Gurudev and Guruji bless Swamiji on this auspicious occasion. Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji, Hari Om Amanti, Hari Om everyone. I'm happy to speak on behalf of the Chinmaya Yuva Kendra here in the Bay Area, or CHIC for short. We're a group of college students and young professionals, and we have a lot of questions. And over the many years, Swamiji has given us the time and been very patient with us to answer our doubts on everything from what is Hinduism to the significance. And really that attention that he gave us was extremely generous, kind, and loving of him to do so. He did this through many camps, satsangs, and study groups with us. And in 2011, we had our first camp, which was in Krishnalaya. It was fairly small, about 25 of us. And at the end of that camp, which was extremely inspiring, it was Gita chapter 15. He said, Swamiji said to me, we have to have a camp every year. And we were only 25 of us, we were scattered all over the place, some of us are working, some are in school. But with your guidance, Swamiji, we were able to commit to starting a group. And since then, I'd like to share some statistics on what has happened. So now it's 2014, we've been going for 3 years running. Now we have 3 locations where we have study groups: San Jose, Berkeley, and San Mateo. And over those 3 years, cumulatively, we've had 100 discussion sessions covering bits of 5 texts. And now, in the last year, we've had no less than 68 chicks attend study group at these 3 locations. And as Swamiji said, to have a camp each year, in 2011 we had 25, in 2012 we had 38, and 2013 we had 55. So may this grow, Swamiji. And it's not just about the numbers, but you've really shown us the knowledge and the Guru Parampara which we wouldn't have known otherwise, because many of us were born after Pujya Gurudev's Mahasamadhi. So to really provide that to us was amazing. You also integrated us with the entire CMSJ family here, and last year we participated in no less than 28 different events, which ranged from Om Run, Satsangs, Q&As, we organized a Dandiya, we sponsored a Shiva Puja, and we had workshops. And so we feel part of the family, though most of us are in our 20s, we don't go to Bal Vihar and we don't have children who are in Bal Vihar, but we still have a place. We have a place to be a part of in this family. So thank you, Swamiji. And last thing I want to share is that you also challenged us to do things that we had never done before. Most recently, we had a workshop called Chick Night on Dharma. We had over 100 chicks attend, and for the first time, chicks prepared bhiksha for Swamiji. There was a lot of pasta and salad, but still, thank you for giving us that opportunity. Thank you for the direction. I'll pass it over to Anu. Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji, Hari Om Uma Aunty. So I'm from Chick, Berkeley, and my first interaction with Swamiji was 2 years back when I was moving to US from India. I'd written to him about house hunting, and he had put me in touch with some chicks in Berkeley. And I'm really grateful to him for making me feel at home being here. Swamiji's talks have been instrumental in starting the group that we have in Berkeley. We went to a camp in Krishnalaya in 2013, and Swamiji taught us Upadeshasara, and the melodious tune and the clear message was so appealing that we studied that text for 6 months, and currently we are around 10 to 15 of us attending regularly in Berkeley, and we are doing Logic of Spirituality by Pujya Gurudev. And Swamiji also came to Berkeley on November 24th for a concluding session of a workshop titled Living in Bliss, where he expounded on the fundamentals of Vedanta and showed us what lies beyond the horizon. We were a little nervous because, as Akhil said, we were again organizing a bhiksha for Swamiji after the talk, and the main concerns were, will the chapati be round, will the salt be okay? And these dals are so confusing and stuff. But Swamiji lightened up the whole thing, and it was so much fun that we had. I myself feel very grateful for having the opportunity to listen to Swamiji's talks, and which are broadcasted online. I know I have only 2 minutes. I'll share one anecdote which has always struck to me, and it's resonated and remained with me forever. It's from Swamiji's talk on Amrita Bindu Upanishad in Boston that he had gave. There is a shloka which, when literally translated, means this: neither to be thought of, nor to be not thought of. Not to be thought of and should be thought of. And after explaining the deeper meaning, I won't explain the meaning, the talk is online, please do watch it. And after explaining the meaning, Swamiji said, once you understand this, you will know what is meditation, how to meditate, and what is realization. He said, further continuing, he said, people have this feeling that first I will become a Chotu Brahman, and then slightly bigger, and then one day struggling, I will reach the end. And this is exactly what I had thought Swamiji. It was as if Swamiji was reading the mind. I mean, when he was explaining why it is not so. And there are many instances which I can keep on narrating about how Swamiji just answered many of my questions which I had to ask. I invoke Puja Gurudev's grace, Guruji's blessings, and Swamiji's and Umanti's grace to be on the Chik and also the Chinmaya community at large. And I also pray to them to give us the strength to walk on the path that they have shown us. Hari Om.
Hari Om. My name is Siddharth. I moved to the Bay Area 9 months ago, and I came from Michigan. And so before moving to the Bay Area, I was looking forward to doing things on my weekend, like hanging out in San Francisco, going out and enjoying the outdoors, going hiking, things like that. But right when I was moving, I got an email from the Chik group saying, hey, we need volunteers to teach at Fremont, Balavihar. So I signed up, and the next thing I know, I was spending a significant portion of my Saturday at Fremont at the Balavihar classes. Swamiji, I would like to thank you for your leadership in helping build these Balavihars. I would also like to thank you for your guidance in all the activities that we do here in Chik, including the Bay Area Yatra on April 26th. For me personally, Balavihar has been a real highlight of my weekend. It's been one of the most rewarding things I've ever done, and I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to do that. In addition, I would say that almost every Chik activity has really opened up this community for me, especially participation with some really awesome people, like the two people who just spoke before me. Swamiji, my mom was your student in the one-year course a few years ago. I got to be your student here for a couple of months, and my dad will be your student in Mumbai. So for my family as well, we're very grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you to all the speakers who had the courage to come here and speak their hearts. It's really hard, I'm telling you. Pop quiz. So basically the essence I get from all the speakers that have spoken is the brahmacharis who are going to be part of the next Vedanta course, Tina. They better do a good job and study well, because they don't know what sacrifice we are making. If you are going from Sandeepany to Sandeepany, are you really going? On a surface, from Sandeepany to Sandeepany, it looks like our Swamiji's journey from here to Mumbai Ashram. But I was thinking, what could it mean for all of us? And actually, it looks like our journey also. And I'll tell you how. Over last 10 years, it is because of Swamiji's teachings and Swamiji, your devotion to your teacher, Pujya Guruji and Pujya Gurudev. We have moved closer to Pujya Gurudev. It has helped us deepen our devotion to Pujya Gurudev, and it has made us part of the bigger Chinmaya Mission family. In a lot of ways, actually, it is because of you. We from this Sandeepany in San Jose are moving closer to Sandeepany in Mumbai, which is a symbol of Chinmaya Mission worldwide. It is because of you, Swamiji, we are moving from this Sandeepany to that Sandeepany, from part to whole. I know there are about 2,500 or so very thirsty eyes and ears waiting to see you on stage and hear you for one more time. Taking a clue from our dear Shvetaketu, Bhuya Eva Magaro. Please, I request you again to come on stage and bless us as you have done so many times over the last 10 years. Please come. lights, please.
Hari Om.